Shall we resume our session? Who all are there? Okay, Sami is there, Nur Fatima, okay, Purnima is there, Suresh, Pavan, Direshan, Yashwini. Okay, so we completed the first lesson of this last module, and now we are going to the second lesson of this module. In this module, we are focusing on how to develop your own custom skills. That means your own skills, how to develop custom skills for an enrichment pipeline. So what do you mean by that? In our previous lesson, we used the built-in cognitive skills, right? We use the built-in cognitive skills. And there are some cases where we don't have this built-in cognitive skills. We need to create our own custom skills, and you need to add that for an enrichment pipeline. If you need to do like that, you will be having the option for that. So in this lesson, we are going to focus on how to do that. So basically, you will be having the data source. This is the data source. And this is the skill set. This contains the JSON definition of what all are the skills that we need to apply onto these documents inside this data source. You're going to get some fields directly from the source document, and also you are going to get some enriched AI fields as part of the skill set. Okay, in skill set, you are saying what all are the skills that we need to apply onto this data. So the output from this and this will be taken by the indexer, and it is going to create an index for you. Later on, users can use this index to search for the information, or in other words, we can say that client application is going to access this index so that we are able to retrieve the results. So this is a normal pattern that we are actually following. But there are some cases where we are not having, suppose you need to create your own form recognizer, you need to integrate your form recognizer. This is not as part of the built-in skills. This is not as part of the built-in skills. Suppose you need to create your own machine learning model, and you need to integrate that model into this enrichment pipeline. At that time, it's not available in built-in. It is not available as a built-in AI skills. Or you need to define your own custom logic. If that's the case, you can implement that as a web API. Okay, you can implement your custom skills as a web API. And later on, you can integrate these skills in the skill set. Okay, you can integrate these skills in the skill set so that we are getting the data from this data source. You are applying that custom logic onto that data in order to extract the fields for you. For example, you need to have a function. Okay, suppose you need to design a new skill, and the main goal of that skill is to detect top five frequent words in a document. Top 5 frequent words in a document. Words in a document. Okay, so this is the skill that you need to apply. Detect top 5 frequent words in a document. You are not having any built-in AI skills for this. You need to create your own function and you need to add that as part of the skill set. So basically, these custom skills are implemented as web APIs, commonly Azure Functions. Azure Functions is a technique with which we can implement our custom skills, and we are going to learn about that in the corresponding exercise. Then when we are dealing with the custom skills, okay, so you're creating your own skill. Okay, you're creating your own custom skill. This is your custom skill, right? So this custom skill is going to take some input. This custom skill is going to take some input and it is going to give you the output. These are the output fields, right? These are the output fields and these are the input fields. So the input needs to follow a particular structure. Input needs to follow a particular structure and the output also needs to follow a particular structure. So the structure of the input is referred to as input schema. Okay, so the structure of the input is referred to as the input schema and the structure of the output is called as the output schema. So when we are designing your own custom skills, you need to follow the input schema and output schema. Look at this. This is the JSON definition for the input schema. You will be having values. Inside that, you will be having the identifier for each of these documents or the records. You will be having input name and the corresponding value here. You will be having the input name and the corresponding value here. Likewise, so many input name and values are there inside this data. So this field is fixed. This field is fixed. This field is fixed. And when it comes to the case of second document, you're going to give a identifier for the second document. Then again, you'll be having some input name and the input value. Likewise, third record, fourth record, you'll be having several documents. And when it comes to the case of output schema, the style is similar to that. Like here also you'll be having values, record ID and data. Here also you'll be having values, record ID, data. In addition to that, what's the main difference? Here we are actually dealing with the input name and the value. But in this case, we are getting the output name and the output value because it's the output schema. This is the structure that we need to follow in output. Likewise, this is for the first record. This is for the second record. Likewise, we will be having several records. In addition to that, you are going to get the errors and warnings also. Okay, if some errors or warnings are there, then you are able to get that information also. So this is all about the custom skill interfaces. Then how you are adding this custom skill to a skill set. Okay, how you are going to add this custom skill to a skill set. Once you design this custom skill, you need to add that skill to the skill set. So skill set contains several skills that you need to apply on the document. Okay, skill set contains several skills that you need to apply on the document. And how you are going to add your custom skill to the skill set. Basically, for that, you need to add a custom.web API skill to the skill set. So in exams, you're going to get this question. So in order to add the custom skills, how you can do that? You need to add a custom.web API skills to the skill set. So this is the skill that you need to add to the skill set. In this custom.web API skills to this, when we are adding that custom.web API skills to the skill set, you need to specify the URI to your web API point. That means the position where your function can be accessed or the location where your function can be accessed. You need to specify. It's optional. Optionally, you can add the parameters or headers. That's option. And you need to set the context to specify at which point in the document hierarchy the skill should be applied. So inside document, you will be having several fields, right? Inside the document, you will be having several fields. You need to apply the skills to a particular field. At that time, you need to specify the context where we need to apply that. You can look at this. So in the skill set, in the skill set.json file, you are adding your custom.web API skills. Here you can see that you need to specify the URI. Then you need to specify the context where this skill needs to be applied. And in response to that, you're going to get the output back. Okay, so this is the structure that we need to follow. Okay, this is the structure that we need to follow. In this lab, you're going to learn about how to use an Azure function to implement a custom skill. Okay, in this lab, you're going to learn about how to use an Azure function to implement a custom skill, and also how to integrate that custom skill into the skill set. So once you are able to implement a custom skill, you need to integrate that custom skill into a skill set. That is the next step. Then only you can use this custom skill into your documents, right? So let me explain, or let me take that exercise. So here, okay, now actually it's running, right? So let me escape that. Let me close that and clear all the details from the terminal. We are actually working with the 23rd folder, that is the custom search skill. So this is the folder that we are actually working with. Okay, this is the folder that we are actually working with. And when we need to say more about this. Okay. So when we need to say more about this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to the AI 102 page, and this is the second last exercise, creating a custom skill for the Azure Cognitive Search. I'm going to copy this link and put that in the chat box. So here they are saying that we need to create the Azure resources. Again, they are mentioning that in the note, if you have previously completed the create an Azure Cognitive Search solution exercise, that means if you've done the previous exercise, then you can skip this part. That means we already have the Azure resources in our portal. Okay, we already have the Azure resources in our portal, right? So what we can do, we can actually skip those things. Okay, I'm going to skip all those things because I have my Azure Cognitive Search, Azure Cognitive Services. Then also I have the storage account. I have all this information with me. So I'm going to directly jump into the next part, that is create a search solution. So what is data source? What is data source? Here your data source that reference the documents in your Azure storage container. You know that skill set contains the various skills in order to extract the AI generated fields from the documents. Index is the searchable set of document records where you can actually perform the searching. Indexer is an engine that is going to create this index. Okay. All the things are going good. Then what we need to do. So let me explain those things. Go to the 23rd folder and you can see all the data here. Create search. You can go and look at this. Okay, you can go and look at this. So what they are saying, create search, two folders are there. Create search.cmd. Okay, what you're going to do is that, please look at this. Go and expand this create search folder. This is the folder that we are going to work. And inside this data source.json, you need to select this data source.json. So what is the name of this data? Margie's custom data. Look at this, Margie's custom data. Please carefully listen to what I'm saying. The name of the data is Margie's custom data. And when we are going to the portal, so when we are going to the portal, let me go to the storage account. Let me go to the storage account and come down. Not the storage account. Sorry, we don't need to go to the storage account. Let's go to the service, that is the search service. And here you can see that in the data source, you will be having one data source, that is the Margis data. Okay, you can see this. Margis data is the data source. Margis data is the data source that we are having. That means in the storage container, we'll be having that data source. That is the Margis data, right? So here they are going to create a new data source, that is the Margis custom data. Okay, Margis custom data. This is the new container. Okay, so Margis custom data is the new container where you are going to store all the PDFs and the associated files. Here they are asking about the connection string. Which connection string? Which connection string they are talking about? And we need to go to the Margis container. So let me pick that let me pick that storage account strref and go to the containers. Go to the containers. And inside this container, you can see Margis, right? Inside this, you can see the Margis blob. So go and access this Margis blob. Inside that, you can see collateral and reviews. Okay, these are the informations. These are the folders that you are able to see. So here, go back to your storage account, and we have copied the connection link. This is the connection string, right, of our storage account. So let me copy the connection string. So let me copy the entire connection string, Control C, and paste that here. Okay, I'm pasting that here. So this is the connection string that I'm going to pass here. And after that, I'm saying that the name of the container is Margis, and I need to create a new one, that is the Margis custom data. So let me save this file. Let me save this file. Then go to the skillset.json. This contains the various skills that we need to apply. And at the top, you can see that they're asking for the cognitive services key. So let me copy the cognitive services key. So this is the primary key that I am having. Okay, this is the cognitive service key, right? So go and copy this cognitive service key and paste that here. Okay, you can go and paste that here. And the name of this cognitive, the name of this skill set is Margis custom skill set. Please look at the name, Margis custom skill set. Earlier, it was Margis skill set, right? But in this experiment, we are going to create a new skill set, that is the Margis custom skill set. This is the JSON description for that skill set. And we copied that information here. We have done that. Now go to the index. What is the name of this index? Margis custom index. And it contains the fields that we are interested, and we are setting all the fields attributes here. And when we talk about the indexer, this is the engine, and the name of this indexer is Margis custom indexer, right? Margis custom indexer, where we are specifying all the field mappings by giving the source field name, target field name. Okay, all those informations are given here. This is the JSON description for this indexer, which is responsible for creating the index for you. So let me save all those information. I have copied the connection string here. Okay, I have copied this connection string here, and I have copied the cognitive service key inside this skillset.json. So let me save, and let me save that. And one more thing that we need to do is that go and select this create search.cmd. This command is responsible for rerunning your index, or this is responsible for running your skill set, then indexer to create this index. You need to specify the URL for the search service and also the key. So you will be having the URL for that. search service. This is the URL, right? So once we copied all those information in the notepad, then it will be easy for you. Otherwise, you need to go to the portal each time and you need to paste those things, right? So that's why I told you like this. Copy this primary key, copy this primary key and paste that here. Once we are done with that, what you can do, you can go and click this create source, open that in integrator terminal, and after that you can type here /create hyphen search. Okay, so let me hit enter. Here you can see that creating data source, creating the index, we can wait for that, creating the indexer. Now it's done. So let's move back to the strib 001. Go to the containers, Margis. Okay, you can see all those information as earlier. Now what we are going to do, you are going to open this search service. Now coming to the data source, can you see this Margis custom data? Are you able to see this? Yes or no? Margis custom data, are you able to see this? Are you able to see this Margis custom data? I would like to get the response from you. Look at the bottom.
Yes.
You are able to see that. So in the skill set, there will be two skill sets. Margis custom skill set. We are able to create that Margis custom skill set. That's good. When it comes to the case of indexes, then we will be having the Margis custom indexer. We created that now a minute ago. When it comes to the case of indexes, you are able to see that Margis custom index, which is created now. Then we need to check whether if that index is working or not. And for that, you can go to the search explorer and choose the corresponding index, which is the index that we are going to use, Margis custom index. And let me put like this star. I just need to know whether it's working or not. Okay, so I'm going to extract each and every information from that document. Now I'm able to extract those things. So it sounds good, right? It sounds good. So it's okay for me. Now what we are going to do? So go to the AI102 engineer. We have done all those things. Now we are going to create a Azure function for custom skill. Now we will be having the indexer, we will be having the index, and all those things are with us. Now the next duty is that we are going to create a custom skill. And we are going to integrate this custom skill with the skill set. And for that, you are going to use the Azure function. Okay, for that, you are going to use the Azure function. So let me show you that. Let me clear all those things. Clear. Let me close these files for the better understanding. Now, go and select this Python folder. And inside Python folder, you can see this word count. But in this word count, nothing is there. Why I'm saying like this? Go to the AI102 engineer. Go to the custom search skills. Go inside this Python. Word count folder is there, but nothing is inside that other than readme file. Okay, other than readme file, nothing is there, right? Nothing is there. So what I'm going to do is that, first of all, you need to have to connect your Visual Studio with the Azure portal. I have already connected that. Okay, I have already connected that. Go to the Python folder. Okay, so here you can see that on the Azure function, create a new project. You can see all those things here. So let me go and select this Azure icon at the left side of the Visual Studio. Go and click that Azure function. Azure icon. And during that time, it is loading all the app services functions that I am having. So you can see all those informations like this. I am having 4 subscriptions. Out of that, 2 is active. That sounds good. This is the Azure function. First of all, go and click this button. Okay, you can see the folder icon here. Go and click this folder icon. And here they're asking for browsing to particular folder. We need to browse to a particular folder. So I need to actually select the folder name. So let me go to the 23rd folder. Inside the Python folder, I am having this word count, right? This is the folder where I need to set all the codes. Okay, this is the folder where I need to set all the codes. So I am going to select this one. And it is asking for the project name. It is asking for the language. So Python is the language. Asking for virtual environment, I am going to skip the virtual environment. I don't need to have that one. Select a template for your project first function. I'm actually working with the HTTP triggers. That's why I'm choosing HTTP trigger. You can specify the name of this. So let me give a name for this, like word count itself. Okay, word count. I'm going to give the word count itself. Authorization level function. Function anonymous and admin is there. I'm going with the function. So at the bottom, you can see that finish creating projects. So what exactly it means? So let me go to the same location. Inside Python, inside word count. Can you see the files? Yes or no? Can you see some files here? Yes or no? Are you able to see these files?
Yes, we can see the files.
Okay. So you are able to see some files here. So
Yes.
let me, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open my Explorer. And now within this Python folder, look at this. Within this Python folder, you'll be having the word count folder. And inside this word count, I can see some code for this init.py. Okay, so I can see some code here. So I am going to create my own function. And for that, I am going to delete the entire code from this init.py. So nothing is there inside that. Okay, nothing is there inside that. And our idea is that we need to create a function that is able to detect the top 5 words. Okay, that is having, so we need to detect the frequency of the words in the document, and we need to print that top 5 words. That is the main goal that we are having. And for that purpose, they are providing with you the code for that. So this is the code. Okay, this is the code. We need to copy this code. And paste that here. So what is the idea of this? So basically the idea of this code is that it is going to find out the top frequent words in the document. For each of this document, it is going to capture the top 5 frequent words in that. Okay, so that's the logic that we are going to use here. So they are specifying some stop words here. They are not going to count the frequency for these words. They are going to ignore for these types of words. Then you can see that record ID, data, errors, warnings, what all are these, right? So these are the input schema and the output schema. So in output schema, I told you that record ID, data needs to be there, right? Errors and warnings will be there. So input and output schema needs to be followed there. Okay, they are going to extract those fields, and this will returns you with the top frequent words of that document. Okay, so let me save this file. So let me save this file. And what you need to do, Second idea is that, okay, so we are up to this point, and now I am going to take this Python folder, word count. Inside this word count folder, you need to pick this word count, go and right click this, and here you can see that there is an option called deploy to function app. Deploy to function app. Go and click this function app, deploy to function app. They're asking for the subscription. I am going to use this Azure Pass subscription. I need to create a new function app in Azure. You need to provide a new name here for this test Reva. Okay, test Reva 001. I am going to give like this. So this is the name of the function app. Hit enter, select a runtime stack. I'm going with the Python 3.8. Then choose the resource group for this new resource. I'm picking AI102. Select a location for new resource. I'm going to opt for ECS itself. And hosting plan. There are several hosting plans. I'm going with the consumption plan. Storage account. I am already having one storage account, strrev001. So I am going to select that one. Application inside script for now. At the bottom, you can see that creating app service plan. We can wait for that. Okay, we can wait for that. It will take some time. So in the background,
you are deploying the code, whatever that is being developed, to find out the maximum number of word occurrences.
Yeah, exactly. So here we will be having that code. We are going to deploy that code to the function app. We are going to deploy that into the function app. So let me show you that how the things are working there. It will take time for creating that function app. And after that, we are directly going to the Azure portal and checks whether the function app is created or not. Now, yeah, I think that it's created. Deploying to test Reva 001. We can wait for that. While doing this exercise, you need to be careful regarding the selection procedures. That's why I told you that when compared to the other modules, there are a lot of steps that we need to follow. When I compare with these 12 modules, I think that in this module, you need to go through each and every step in a detailed manner. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. So deploying to test 001. Okay, so it will take time for the deployment. In today's class, you will be having one test. Okay, so that will be an easy test. Okay, that will be an easy test. 10 questions will be there. And this is the same strategy that we have done for the previous classes. And one more thing, we are going to share with you the mock exam questions, and you can perform you can do the mock exams in the upcoming Saturdays, and you can prepare for your exam. My suggestion is that, first of all, go and read all the contents that we have shared. That is the MOOC, right? We have shared MOOC with you. You need to actually go through that. And after that, you need to learn further regarding each of these services from the Microsoft Docs. Now, okay, deployment to test Reva 001 completed. Okay, let me close that one. Go to the Azure portal. Microsoft Azure. Go inside this AI102 resource group. Can you see this function? App test Reva 001 at the bottom.
Yes.
So go and click this test Reva 001. And here at the left side, this is the blade, right? At the left blade, you can see functions. Go and click these functions. You're able to see the word count. And the trigger we use is HTTP, right? So go and click this word count. And at the same time, at the left side, you can see the developer option. Go and click this code plus test. Okay, go and click this code plus test. At this point, you are going to see your code init.py. Okay, this is the same code that we have copied in Visual Studio, right? So it is able to deploy this code. It is able to deploy this code. And the next procedure is that we need to test this. We need to test this function, right? Whether this function is working in a right manner or not. We need to test this function. So how you are able to test this? So at the top, you can see this test or run button. And while clicking that, we need to ensure that we are going to give the input in this format. Look at this: values, record ID, data. We need to follow this same structure. I told you that the function is going to take some input. That input needs to have some structure that is called as an input schema. And this custom skill or the function is going to give you some output that is also having some structure that is called as an output schema. So what we are going to do is that you can go and click this test run button. Now come down. You can delete this body, right? You can delete this body. So then go to the AI 102 engineer, come down, and look at this input. Values, record ID is the same. Is the same. Values, record ID, data, then input name, record ID, data. Whether the structure is same or not.
Yes.
This structure is same, right? So we are giving.
When it comes to uploading a data file, like, see, we are here passing as a text, right? When we are uploading a paragraph from a point where it has to read, then we have to reformat the data in the same format.
Sure, but the thing is that still we have not connected our skill set with this function app.
Okay,
Are you,
yeah,
are
just
you
we
getting my
deployed
point?
it. Yeah, we just deployed it.
We just deployed this function. We just deployed this function, and we need to test whether this function is working in a right manner or not. If it is working in a right manner, then you are going to integrate this custom function to the skill set. That's the idea that we are using. So in order to test that, we are going to give some sample text. And in response to that, you need to get some output. So that output needs to follow this format. So let me copy this code and select that word count. And here I'm going to paste it. So body, in place of this body, I'm going to paste that. And after that, I'm going to run this. I'm going to run this. So let me wait for that. Are you able to see this? Rain, Spain, stay, mainly plains, that's tiger, burning, bright, darkness, night. Okay, these are the top frequent words in that document. Now we are able to see that our function is actually working in a right manner. Our function is actually working in a right manner. So you can close this one. Okay, you can close this one. So let me go to the get function URL. At the top, you can see this get function URL. Okay, at the top, you can see this get function URL. So let me take that again. Code test. It's still loading. Okay, at the top, you can see this get function URL. Go and copy that URL and paste that here. I'm going to paste that here in the notepad. Okay, I'm going to paste that in the notepad. So this is the function URL. This is the function URL. test.java.azurewebsites.net API word count. This is the URL, right? Next, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to my Azure portal. Now I'm going to the Visual Studio, and you can see this update search folder inside this 23rd folder. We have done with this create search folder. We have done with this Python folder. now we are remaining with one more folder, that is the update search folder. Go and expand this update search folder. What all are the steps that we need to follow in these files? So let me open this update search.cmd file. They're asking for the URL and the admin key. So this is the cognitive search URL and the key, right? So let me copy this cognitive search URL and paste that here. Then I'm going to copy this primary key and paste that here. So I have done with this file. Update search.cmd. This is responsible for creating our indexer, running the creating the index by running the indexer. Okay, so we have done with that. So let me close this file. Then what is the next duty? We need to go to the update skill set. Here we need to add our. So what is the next step? So here I told you that you need to add a custom.web API skill to the skill set. Okay, once we are done with our custom function, we need to add that to the skill set. And how we are adding? By using custom.web API skill. Okay, so let me go through that. And this is the skill set JSON. So at the top, they are asking for the cognitive service key. So where is our cognitive service key? This is the cognitive service key, right? So let me copy this key and paste that here. And coming down, this is a new skill, right? Get top words. This is a new skill that we have added. And this is the custom.web API skill. Description is custom skill to get top 10 most frequent words. It's not 5. This function is used for getting the top 10 most frequent words. And at the bottom, you can see they are asking for the URI. We already deployed one function in the function app. Now we need to add that function, or we need to add that custom function or the custom skill to this skill set. So at this point in PPT, they are mentioning that you can see that specify the URI to your web API endpoint. Okay, specify the URI to your web API endpoint. So the thing is that when we are actually taking this PPT for the first time, you're confused with what all are these terminologies. So what all are the terminologies? That's why I am actually mixing the things together. So at this point, you will be able to understand what exactly each sentences are. Okay. So let me copy the first. This is the function URL, right? So this is the function URL. Let me copy that function URL and paste that here. Okay, paste that here. Now I have copied those information and rest of the things are same. I don't need to do anything there. Let me save the entire file. And when it comes to the case of update index, these are some of the fields in that index, right? These are the fields of the index: meta storage name, storage path, content type, data language. You can see all those things here. Go down, go down, go down. Here you can see that top words. Top words is the new field. Okay, top words is the new field. Like that, indexer. In this indexer also, you will be having those things. Margie's custom skill set. Okay, we have added those inside this indexer also. Top words, you can see this top words. So the indexer is going to create you with the index. So let me save everything. Go to the update source. Right click, open in integrator terminal. And here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to run my update search.cmd, right? So /update search.cmd. Let me hit enter. Updating the skill set, updating the index, waiting for 1 second, updating the indexer. So let's wait for that. Let's wait for that. resetting the indexer. So now it is done, right? Now it is done. So go back to the portal, go to the Microsoft Azure main page, go and select this search service, SSRava, right? So go and select this search service, go to the search explorer, and at the top, now we are passing new command. Okay, now we are passing new command. So what is the command that we are passing here? Look at this. Search for, what is the meaning of this? Search for the word Las Vegas. Okay, search for the word Las Vegas. And from all those documents that contains the word Las Vegas, we need to select the URL and the top words. We need to select the URL and the top words. Go and copy this command and paste that here. Search equal to Las Vegas, select URL top words. So let me go and search that. Are you able to see the top words?
Yes.
You're able to see
Yes.
that. I don't know whether this feature is there in other softwares or not. I don't know about that. Do we have these features? Do we have the ability to add custom skills to the search solutions? Okay, so that's why I told you that you can create your own functions and deploy as a function app, and later on you can integrate this function app into later on you can integrate this custom functions into your skill sets and rebuild the indexer. Thereby you are going to get an index, and from that index you can search for the specific terms. So this is the idea of the second lesson. And now we have completed use an Azure function to implement a custom skill, and then we integrate a custom skill to the skill set. So let's move to the last lesson of this AI 102. So how to create a knowledge store? How to create a knowledge store? So what do you mean by that, knowledge store? Up to this point, you have studied that from the documents. Okay, onto these documents, you applied some AI skills, and along with that, you will be having the custom skills. Okay, you extracted some data out of that. Can we store this data somewhere? Can we store this extracted data to some locations? Can we store this extracted data to some locations so that later on you can analyze those data? Later on you can analyze those data using Power BI or by using any other applications. For the later purpose, you know that you will be having the author name, creation date, and the contents. But when it comes to the case of the fields that is extracted by the built-in AI skills or the built-in skill set, we are going to get some additional information from these documents, and you are going to store this additional fields that you obtained from this AI skills to some other locations like storage. Okay, so that's the idea that we are going to focus on. So basically, what is this knowledge store? Persisted insights extracted by the indexing process. We know that we'll be having documents inside the storage. You are going to create the skill set where we can use the built-in AI skills, and also you can integrate your custom functions. Then you will be having this indexer, which is responsible for creating this index. We studied all those in our earlier lessons, right? Now, this indexer can also store this extracted AI information. That means it can store the extracted AI fields from these documents as projections in the Azure storage. So you can view this as a storage where you can store the tables, you can store the JSON structure of the documents, you can extract images from the PDF, and you can store those images in files. So you're going to store as projections, you're going to store as table projections, you're going to store that as an object projection, then you're going to store that as a file projection. So basically, we are going to store as projections in Azure storage. So there are three types of projections. One is the table projections, where we are storing our tables, okay, where we are storing our relational tables. In object projection, we are going to store the JSON structures of the document fields. It is very important to know this. Okay, in tables, you are going to store the relation tables. In object projections, you are going to store the JSON structure of the documents. Then in file projections, you are going to store your images of each of this document. You are going to store the images of each of this document. Later on, you can use this data for the analysis or in order to integrate that with other data processing workflows. We are working with the knowledge store. We need to specify what all are the fields that you are interested in. What all are the fields that you are interested in. You know that when we apply AI skills, we selected some fields like language, then sentiment, then key phrase. Likewise, we need to decide what all are the fields that we need to store, what all are the fields that we need to store as projections. And for that, we need to use the shaper skill. So the main idea of shaper skill is that it will restructure the fields to simplify projections. So what here it is saying, we are going to create a JSON object with the fields you want to persist. That means you're going to get so many fields, and you don't need to store all these fields inside. You don't need to store all these fields as projection. You need to store some fields that you might interested, and you need to store it as projections. So with the help of this shaper skill, we can do that. Again, it's in JSON format. Okay, you can give the name of this projection. Then you can specify the inputs and you can specify the outputs here. So this is the structure that we need to follow. Okay, this is the structure that we need to follow. With the help of shaper skills, we can restructure the fields to simplify the projection. So how many projections are there? Table projection, file projection, and object projection. There are three types of projections. And how you're going to implement a knowledge store. This is the next step that we need to do. How to implement a knowledge store. Basically, knowledge store and projections are defined in the skill set. Look at this name. Knowledge store and projections are defined in which file? Inside the skill set. You're going to see the structure like this, where it is mentioning like knowledge store, and you need to specify the storage connection string. So this is the location where your projection is going to be stored. Okay, this is the location where the projection is going to be stored. Okay, you need to define the knowledge store. Inside that, you need to specify the location where this extracted insights needs to be stored. Okay, so you need to specify this information. And along with that, you need to specify the projections. There are three types of projection. One is the object projection. Next is the table projections. And the last one is the file projections. So these are the three types of projections that we are going to deal with. When we are talking about the object projection, you need to specify, the location where you need to store the JSON files. So from where you're going to get that? From the source, you're going to get the source data and you're going to put that in the storage container that you mentioned here. And when we are dealing with this object projection, we need to specify like tables and files also, but it does not contain anything. It does not contain anything. Okay. When we need to add table projection, here you will be having the objects and files, but it does not have anything in that. Here you can specify the table name, generated key name, and the source. You can specify those things. Here in table projection, you are going to store that as tables. You're going to store that as tables. When it comes to the case of file projection, okay, when it comes to the case of file projection, you will be having files. For example, you need to store all the images in a particular document. You can take each document. Suppose in that document, in a particular document, you will be having 5 images. Then you're going to store that 5 images as file projection. You're going to store that images as file projection. You can do that, but still you need to specify objects and tables, but it does not contain anything. So this projection defines files. So no objects or tables. So you will be having, you don't have any objects or tables in that. Here you don't have any objects or files in the table projection, and in the object projection, you don't have any files or tables. Okay, this is the style in which we need to work with. So now we are going to create a knowledge store with object, file, and table projection.
These are just confirm.
Right.
So all the 3 projections for object, file, and table, they are in JSON format only.
No, we can actually store that as image. So JSON format means in object projection, you're going to store the JSON files. Are you getting my point? In object projection, you're going to store the JSON file for each of this document. In the table projections, you're going to store the information in the form of tables. Right? You can see these tables after the experiment. Then in the file projection, you're going to see the images. Are you getting my point?
Yes. And even in the file projections, no, within that file projection, the whatever is being written looks like a JSON format. So I was bit.
This is the structure. This is the structure. This is the structure. That means we need to implement this knowledge store, and this knowledge store and projections are going to be defined in this skill set, right? So you can see all these steps inside the skill set definition itself. Skill set definition is actually in JSON format, right?
Right.
So that JSON format is given here. But actually, we are going to store the tables in table projection. You're going to store the images in file projection. And when it comes to the case of object projections, you're going to store the JSON files of that document.
Got it, Nithin. And when you say images, it means the file images in file projection.
Right. Okay, consider the case of that a PDF that contains the information regarding Dubai. In that, Burj Khalifa image is there and one more hotel image is there, right? In the previous PDF, we have gone through that. So let me take that. Let me take that and explain to you. So for example, which is that file? Which is that file? Go to the custom and go to the knowledge store. Inside this data, you will be having the collateral. In this document, you will be having one image, that is Burj Khalifa, and this is another hotel, right?
Right.
So for this document, we are able to extract this image and it is going to store as file projection. Are you able to get this?
Yes.
And in the object projection, the JSON structure for this entire document is going to be stored there.
Got it.
Okay. So now what we are going to do is we are going to directly open the last exercise. So let me move back. And this is the last exercise, create a knowledge store with Azure Cognitive. So let me copy this and share that, paste that in the chat box. So they are saying that if you have completed the previous exercise, then you don't need to create any resource as we done earlier. Okay, as we done earlier. Now, what we are going to do is that we are going to create a search solution. We are going to create a search solution. And here, the same procedures that we have done earlier. Okay, the same procedures that we have done earlier, but some difference are there. So let me tell you what all are the steps that we need to do. Let me close all those files for you. Go and minimize this 23rd folder and expand this 24th folder. Here you will be having this create search folder. Go and expand that. Okay, go and expand this create search folder. Then go to the data source.json. This is the first file we are actually dealing with. So what is the name for this data source? It's Margie's knowledge data, right? It's the Margie's knowledge data. It is the Margie's knowledge data. Then you need to specify your connection string. So which is the connection string? So let me copy this connection string, right? This is not the connection string, right? So this is the connection string. So let me copy this connection string. Let me copy this connection string and paste that here. Okay, save the entire thing. We are done with this data source.json. We are done with this data source.json. I'm going to close that. Go and open this create search.cmd. Here you need to specify the URL for your search service and also the key for your search service. So go to the notepad, and look for the cognitive search. This is the URL, right? So copy this URL and paste that here. And when it comes to the case of admin key, this is the primary key. I'm going to copy this key and paste that here. This file is responsible for running the indexer in order to create the index. So I have done with that. I'm going to close that. Now we have worked with two files, create search.cmd and data source.json. Then go to the skillset.json. Go to the skillset.json. So what is the name of this skillset.json? Margie's knowledge skillset. Margie's knowledge skillset. It's good. Now we need to copy the cognitive service key. Which is the cognitive service key? Come down. Don't confuse with all these keys, right? That's why I told you, you need to actually copy all those information in Notepad. We normally do that. Otherwise, for copying each of these information, we need to go to the Azure portal and do that. It's a hectic task. It's a hectic task. So go and copy this primary key of this cognitive service and go and paste that here. Okay. Listen to me. Please listen to me. So this knowledge store and projections are defined in the skill set. So now we are opening that skill set. This is the skill set, right? So we will be having this knowledge store and the projection inside this skill set. So where is that? Where is that? So let me go down. Let me go down. Let me go down. Let me go down. Down. Shaper skill define projections. Okay, so vision analysis. Can you see this knowledge store? Can you see this knowledge store? Look at this. Please look at this. Knowledge store. Storage connection string, your connection string, and inside that projections. This is the same thing that you're going to see here. Yes or no? Yes or no? So please focus on this. Here you will be having the knowledge store. Inside that you need to specify your connection string. And in the place of this, you can specify the object projection, table projection, and file projection. Where are these JSON file? Where are these JSON objects? So this is actually within this skill set. This is actually within this skill set. So this is the skill set. This is the skill set. And you can see the same code here. Knowledge store connection. In this connection string, you need to specify where you need to store the data, where you need to store your projection. You need to specify the location where you need to store your projections. So I am saying that I already have one storage connection, right? I already have one storage account. I am going to use this connection itself. I am going to use this connection itself. So let me go and copy this connection and paste that here. We have copied that thing. Then inside this projection, what is the name that you can see? Margie's knowledge. Which is this projection? Can anyone say which is this projection? Object, table, or file projection. Which is this projection? Which is this projection? I'm waiting for your reply. I'm waiting for your reply. Which is this projection? In exam, they will ask you regarding this. That's why I am again focusing on this. So which is this projection? Whether it's an object projection, table projection, or file projection?
Right?
Which one?
Object projection.
Exactly, object projection. In object projection, you're going to store the JSON for each of these document, JSON files for each of this document in the object file. So coming down, which is this projection? This is the file projection, right? This is the file projection. When we are defining file projection, these two things needs to be empty, right? So we need to specify like this. This is the file projection, and this is the table projection. And please look at the name, storage container, Margie's knowledge. Margie's knowledge is the name of that storage container where we are going to store the JSON files. Okay, Margie's knowledge is the name of the folder where we are going to store the JSON files. And Margie's images is the name of the folder where you are going to store the images for each of these documents. This is again the file projection. Okay, and in the object projection, we are going to create a table called image tags, and you're going to create some tables there, key phrases, location, image tags, like that, right? So let me run this and show you how it will work. Okay, so let me run this. So I have done all those steps here, and you can see the index.json, and the name of that index is Margie's knowledge index. This is the indexer. The name is Margie's knowledge indexer. All the things are same. All the things are same. So let me open that in integrator terminal. And here I am going to type, what is the command? Create, then hyphen search.cmd. Search.cmd. Let me hit enter. So what happened? Okay, not okay. I have done a mistake. / create, again create search.cmd. Search.cmd. Creating data storage. Okay, creating the skill set, creating the index. So let's wait for that. Let's wait for that. We are done up to this point, right? We are done up to this point. So let me close this one and open this, which one? Skill set. Okay, open this skill set and go down. Let me go down to the knowledge store. Okay, so our objects is going to be stored in Margie's knowledge folder. Okay, that sounds good, right? That sounds good. So go to the Azure portal. This is the Azure portal, right? Then go to the storage account. Our storage account is this one, S001. So go and select this storage account. Then go to the, okay, so let me show you. Let me open. There are different ways in which you can see this. At the left side, can you see this data storage? Inside this, you can see containers, file shares, queues, and tables. Go to the containers. Can you see two folders, Margie's images and Margie's knowledge? Are you able to see this? Yes or no? Are you
Yes,
able
we
to see
can
this?
see.
Yes.
So this is the folder that we have specified here, Margis knowledge and Margis images. So inside this Margis knowledge, we will be having the JSON files. Inside this Margis images, we will be having the images of each of this document. So let
So,
me
Nithin
write.
sir, one question. Sorry to interrupt.
It's not a
So,
big deal. You can ask me whatever.
how this decided the context path? I mean, relative path. I mean, where it is storing. We just gave this margin the folder name.
Yeah, we have specified all those things at this point. And inside this document, you will be having the normalized images. While you're creating this index, you're specifying all the source fields. So this is the location where you will be having that images, right? Are
Right.
you getting my point? So from there, you're going to directly store that in the folder named Margis images. And we need to specify the storage account where we need to store this. In the knowledge store, you're specifying that storage connection string. This connection string actually points to this particular location. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, got it. So, can we map this connection string to this location because from the connection string URL, it was not clear to me how. I mean,
Oh, I'm not getting that. How you are?
in this connection string URL, where we are mentioning this folder name.
So
Not
this,
this folder name. This the relative path. We declared a folder, right? A storage container. We declared the source as well, and
okay,
we have the.
basically, yeah, I got that. I got that. So basically, when we open this container, you can see that when we open this container, so let me go back. Let me go back and open this container. Open this container. So here we are specifying the direct link to that particular storage. Okay, in that storage, we are directly creating this Margis knowledge folder. That's why it is able to create like this. If you're specifying some other locations, some other storage location, then you're going to create that folder there. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, and only for this storage account, we have created only this container.
Yeah, exactly.
Only.
Because we are using this storage container for uploading all the documents and also for storing the knowledge store, we are using this same container. You can actually do in a different way. That means for storing the knowledge store, you can create another storage account for that, and you can do that.
Okay, so I was bit thinking that if we create one more container in the same account, then how will I specify which container to use and what will be the path, relative path? Uh,
Right. I
the
got that.
path.
I got that. So for that, we need to specify all the things. That means in this data source.json, are you able to see this?
Yes.
Here, you need to mention that.
Okay, container name is there. Okay.
Is that
Got-
okay?
Yeah. Thanks for that.
Okay. So now we are able to actually you are able to see this Margis images. So let me open that. Can you see these folders? 1, 2, 3. How many folders are there?
6 folders.
That means can anyone say that? That means so let me take my data, and inside this collateral, how many PDFs are there?
6 PDFs.
So each of this folder corresponds to
One document.
exactly. Each of this folder corresponds to one document. How many images are there inside this document?
2 images.
2 images are there, right? 2 images are there. That sounds good. When we open the next document again, we'll be having 2 documents. So let me go to the Azure portal and open any one of this folder. So you can see this normalized images.jpg. So let me download this. There is one other option for seeing this. Let me download this and open this. This is the Margis travel. So which is this folder, right? Which is this folder? So let me go and select this 4th PDF. Only one image is there, right? It is able to extract this image. That sounds good. So again, going back let me go back to the, say, here, Margie's images. Then go and select another folder. Here, 2 images are there. So let me download this image. Let me, where is that? Let me download this image and open that. So strip at night. Okay. So let me open another image. Okay, so this is from Las Vegas. This is from the PDF Las Vegas. So likewise, you are able to store each of this information inside this Margie's images. Which is this projection? Can you say that? Which is this projection? File projection, object projection, or table projection? Which is this specific projection? That's the question that I am going to ask. Which is this projection? Whether it's a file projection, object projection, or table projection? You need to learn about that. You need to again learn about that because they are going to show. They are going to ask regarding this questions. So it's a file projection.
Image file, yeah.
Yeah, image file. It's a file projection. Then Margie's knowledge. Can you say what exactly inside this folder? Margie's knowledge. It's the
Object.
JSON. Yeah, it's the object projection. It contains the JSON format for each of these document, right? So we are able to see this knowledge projection. So you can download that. You can download that and view that with any other open. So you can see this file ID, then file name, Margie's Travel Company Information Limited. Then you are going to see the URL. You're going to see the language, sentiment, key phrase, what all are the fields that you specified. You're able to store all those fields inside this knowledge projection, right? So for each of this document, you will be having one knowledge projection. Okay, for each of this document, you will be having one knowledge projection. So that's the. So one more question. Then, so let me close this one. Then where is our table projection? Can anyone say that? Where is our table projection? Where is our table projection?
It's knowledge.
No, it's not inside knowledge because look at this. This is the index.json. Look at this skillset.json. And when we go down, for the object projection, we are going to store that in the Margie's knowledge. We know that. For the file projection, it is going to be stored in this Margie's images. Okay, that sounds good. So for the table projection, is there any folder name? Is there any folder name specified there?
Somewhere entity tag was mentioned in this file.
Yeah, exactly. So here you will be having how many tables? One table with the name key phrase, another table with the name location, another table name with the name image tags. Then you will be having the docs. So you will be having 1, 2, 3, 4. Four tables will be there. 4 tables will be there. But we are not mentioning the folder name here. Go to the left side and can you see tables under this data storage? Go to the left blade and under this data storage, can you see these tables, containers, file shares, queues, and tables?
Yes.
So when we click these tables, you can see this information, right? So docs, image tags, key phrase, location, and docs. Docs, image tags, key phrase, and location. So these are the 4 tables that we have created. So these are the 4 tables that we have created. And so this is the table projection. Okay.
So object and files went into containers and tables, we have different tab.
Yeah. So for storing tables, we will be having separate option. That is the tables itself. This is structured data, right? we'll be having some columns and rows, right? So that's
Right.
why it comes under these tables. So
And sorry, Nithin. Okay, when we say this is stored in a table in a schema, or can we open these docs and see what it contains?
yeah, right. But the problem is that from here you cannot open that. And in order to open that, so let me give you another idea. So go to the storage account and go to the top. Can you see this open in Explorer?
Yep.
Go and select this open in Explorer. And when you're working with this, you will be given with a software that you need to actually download and install. Okay, I already have that software. That is the Open Azure Storage Explorer. This is one executable file that you can directly download and install that. Once you are able to install that, then you can open that with the Open Azure Storage Explorer. So let me click this one. Open this. So it is going to open an external software. Let's wait for that. It is taking time.
This is a relational database schema.
Actually, it's a method for exploring through the storage. That means we can go through each of the folders inside the storage. It's not a relational database, or it's not
Sorry.
like that.
Sorry. What I was trying to ask is that the tables that we stored, so are these in relational format or they are non-relational?
They are in relational format. They are in relational format. That is actually stored as columns and rows in the same format. So let me show you that. So can you see this storage account at the left side, storage account strrev00? So let me expand that. It's loading. It's loading. So this is the only way where we can actually see that tables. So it's taking time. It's taking time. So go to the tables. And come down. Can you see this image? Let me open this. Let me open this. Can you see this?
Yes.
Timestamp, document ID tags. For each of this tag, you are going to get an independent row. So this tree tag is within that specified document ID. So for outdoor, we'll be having another row. For palm tree, we'll be having another row. So this is in the table format. So you'll be having some tag ID and the associated tags with that. You can see the tables here. Likewise, for the key phrases, let me click these key phrases here. Then going here, you can see that world leading travel agency, best travel exports. Okay, Deepak Nadar, strategic director, Margi, local expertise. These are the key. These are the phrases. These are the key phrases. So when we are talking about the locations, this is another table. This is another table that inside this table we are having location information like Dubai, Las Vegas, London, New York, San Francisco, right? So you are able to see all those things here. Then inside the documents, you can have all the values here. So let me open that. You can see the row partition, you can see the file ID, file name. You can get information about the file name. Okay, so this is all about the documents table. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Thanks, Nithin.
Okay. So, and I have explained these things multiple times. So I am going to ask you some questions. First question, you want to enrich an index by extracting any geographical locations mentioned in the source data. Which built-in skill should you use? It's not only from this module. It is actually talking about the contents in module third module. So you want to enrich an index. So you can post your feedbacks, or you can post your answers in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic and say regarding that. You want to enrich an index.
Entity recognition.
Entity recognition. What about others? What about others? You want to enrich an index by extracting any geographical locations mentioned in the source data. So you'll be having three options: entity recognition, key phrase extraction, and language detection. We don't need to do anything with the language detection, so we can discard that. When we are talking about entities, entity can be the name of the persons, it can be the name of the locations, it can be the date, it can be the time, it can be the organization name. Key phrases means these are the important points in that sentence. So which is the right answer? I have told up to this point. So which is the right answer? First one, right? First one is the right answer. Entity recognition is the answer. So the next question, you have implemented, okay, so you have implemented a custom skill as an Azure function. We have done that experiment, right? How can you include the custom skill in your indexing process? How you can include the custom skill in your indexing process? First option, add a merge skill to the skill set to combine output from the built-in skills with your custom skills. Add a web API skill to a skill set referencing the Azure function URI. Add a shaper skill to the skill set to create a collection of records with unique IDs generated by your custom skill.
Web
Which one?
APIs.
Web API skill. Okay, what about others? So here we will be having three options. You can completely discard this shaper skill. Why? It is talking about the knowledge projection, right? It is talking about the knowledge stores. It is talking about the knowledge store. In knowledge store, we need to think of this shaper skill. Okay, so we can discard that. And when it comes to the case of merge skill, actually, we have done this merge skill without going through this custom skills, right? So the right answer will be add a web API skill. Add a web API skill. This is the right answer. So all of them are given with the right answer. That's good. So the last question, you want to create a knowledge store that contains JSON representation, right, of the extracted data. What kind of projection should you define?
Object.
Three options are there.
Object.
File, object, and table. Object, right? So what about others? What about others? So they are talking about the JSON documents. They are talking about the JSON representations. They are talking about the JSON representations. So which one is the right option? Question 3B, second option. So the right answer is objects. Inside objects, you're going to use the JSON representation. So you're good to go, right? So we have successfully completed the entire modules, but the next highest target is that you need to, can you tell that? You need to
Score 80%.
I need to have about 900 score, because basically 700 is the cutoff. 700 is the cutoff. But if you are putting some efforts for this entire week, you can score about 900. Or okay, Varak baby, the first thing is that there is no distinction of first class in this certification. I am telling that there is no classification like first class, second class distinction. If you are passing 700 marks, then you are titled as Azure AI engineer. Okay, you're titled as AI engineer. So that's the only thing that you're getting. And with that title, you can actually go through some interviews and you can tell that I'm an Azure AI engineer. What's the main idea of this certification? You are able to integrate AI application in your service. Okay, you can integrate these AI services in your application. That's the main thing. you know that what all are the services that you are getting from Microsoft. You can integrate those services in order to build your application. So this is the main idea that we are focusing on. So so shall we have some queues? Shall we have some queues? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Only 10 questions, 10 minutes. So let me take that quizzes dot of. I hope that all of you know the procedure. What all are the procedures that we need to do? You can directly go and click that link. I'm waiting for you. You can enter your name there. Kadirishan joined. Yash, Brent, okay. Soumya, Guru, Noor, okay. 8 participants, 9. Only 9 are there. Only 9 are there. Where are others?
No, links are not getting opened. I'm just trying.
Okay, okay, okay. So I will wait for that. I will wait for that. I need to have participation from all of you. Eleven participants joined. 11 participants joined. We have around how many participants? 25 in this, right? 12 participants. 13. Including myself, 25 participants are there. 13 participants. Only 13 are there. Only 13 are there. So can you raise your hands, those who joined this queues? Can you raise your hands so that I can actually get that from the chat? Okay, 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 okay. So what about Agula? What about Astos? Then Gaurav, Gurushant, Pavan. Then Vinaya.
Hi Nithin, can you share the code again?
Actually, you don't need to actually enter any code there. You can directly click that link. Are you getting my point?
Okay.
You can directly click that link and join directly by providing your name. So there are two ways in which we can actually join to this queues. But I'm giving you with the easy manner where you don't need to provide any code there. So let me check that. 13, only 13 participants. 14, 15. So if you join this queues, if you have joined this queues, then you can raise your hands. You can raise your hands so that I can know what are your 14. Okay. Agula, Ashtosh, Gaurav, are you there? Pavan?
That is our mentor. There are our professors and our mentors also.
Okay, okay.
So maybe whoever has joined, we can just start off that because we are also waiting, right? It is already 5:20.
Right.
So we have some personal work to attend to.
Okay.
So if you start, it will be good for us.
Yeah, we can start, and after that we will be having a feedback link, and I will share that feedback link to you. So let me start this cues. So who is the winner? Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Kadireshan got the first place, then Yash second, Noor. Okay, 70%. That means he made 3 mistakes, and this is the score for each of the participants. You can see that where you have gone wrong. Anyway, you need to work a lot and you need to prepare for these exams in a good manner, and you can utilize this upcoming days for that. And the next thing that I need to share that is that you need to actually go through this feedback and submit the feedbacks there. After that, you need to type done inside this chat box after doing that. Okay, so let me go and share that link to you. Can we change answers? I hope that all of you can see the URL, right? I hope that all of you can see the URL that I have pasted in the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go through that URL and submit your feedbacks. And once you're done with that, type done in the chat box. Okay, once you're done with that, type done in the chat box. I'm waiting for you.
Are we expected to submit the feedback now, Nithin?
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
Is it okay? We can do after certain work around.
So basically, company shared this link to you, and that's why we normally close all the sessions by now. That's why I asked you to submit your feedback. Is that difficult?
No, it's not like that. We have to practice and we want to interact with you more.
Sure, sure. For that, actually, it's not a big deal. You can connect with me at whatever point that you like.
Okay, fine. So then let me take the feedback.
You have my number with you, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
I request all the participants not to leave the meeting because Shinu ma'am wants to talk to you guys.
Okay. Purnama, Kadirishan, Yashwini. Okay, Grishant. Velan, Suresh, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can I ask Shinu ma'am to join, sir?
Sure, sure.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. So most of them are completing the feedback. So your strategy for writing the exam is, first of all, you need to complete all the materials given to you. That means you have the access to that MOOC. Complete all the modules in that MOOC. After that, go through the practice questions, and for handling those practice questions, we need to gain additional knowledge from the Microsoft Docs. Okay, Microsoft Doc. When we talk about this Microsoft Docs, we'll first of all take that Microsoft Docs. So this is considered as the encyclopedia for all the courses, and you need to go through the documentation about each and every services that is available in Azure with respect to AI. So let me share this link with you once again. So in that link, you will be getting several options like there is learn. So learn means where we are able to directly enter to this course, and where you are going to get the contents regarding this course. And if you need to know more about that, for knowing more about the specific services like speech service, or you need to know more about this language understanding, then this is the place where you can go through. So here you will be having several topics like Azure boards, Azure board service. If you need to go through this, go and click this Azure board service. Then this is the technical documentation regarding that. Okay, this is the technical documentation regarding that. And for every service, okay, for every service, you're going to get a page like this. And then you are able to learn what all are the functions available inside this SDK. So here you can see the concepts, you can see about the concepts, then what all are the skills, then about how to kickstart in this service. Okay, then you'll be having some exercise problems there. So you can go through that. And if you need to know more about the speech service, then what we can do, go and type speech service, then type Azure there. Then it will be directed to that specific services. Okay, it will be directed to that specific services. For example, speech translation. So let me take the speech translation. So this is the page for the speech translation. And here you can see the product overview, features, security, and pricing. And when it comes to your case, you need to actually go and select this documentation. Okay, you need to actually go and select this documentation. Inside this documentation, here you are getting 3 tabs. One is getting started, read our documentation. So you need to go and select this documentation. This Microsoft Learn course is actually the same that we have shared. So in order to know more about this, go through the documentation, and you can learn about the features that you're getting in speech SDKs, then how to improve the synthesis with SSML. Okay, so here how to customize your voice. For all those topics, you're going to get additional information. So go and learn more about these services from this documentation. That's the first, that's one of the main thing. That's one of the main thing that we need to carry out. Is that clear to all of you? Is that clear to all of you? And you need to go through the practice test. You need to actually go through the practice test. Without going through this practice test, don't try to write the exam. You need to first of all go through the practice test, and once you are able to see new questions, and you may search for that particular questions, and you can read through the documentation for knowing which is the right answer for that. After going through several questions, then you are good to go with the actual examination, and you can directly opt for writing the examination from home, or you can register your exams at some exam centers. That depends upon your wish. Okay, but still some steps that you need to carry out there. So you need to maintain your you need to ensure about your internet connectivity. That needs to be a good one. Otherwise, you will be having some problems during the examination, and that surely creates a problem for you. So that's why I told you that first of all, you need to check your internet connectivity. Then you need to have the photos of all the license proof that you have in order to register for the exam. Okay, so all this information can be. Okay, Soumya.
Photos of what you are saying?
Yeah, actually, what I'm talking is that you can give the photos of ID proof. That means you can give the license card. Okay, so in order to register your exam, you need to prove your identity, right? You need to prove your identity. For that, some identity cards needs to be there. And when you have gone through that particular that exam manual, there you will able to get the procedures that you need to take care. So let me show you that. Also, let me take this AI Microsoft certification and.
And Nithin sir, also tell how to get access to the practice questions.
Yeah, we are going to share all the links with you. With that links, you can directly go and enter the password that we are sharing, and after that you can access all the questions there. We will be going to share all those things with you by this week itself. Then when we are going with the examination for this AI 900, what we can do, you can select the examination that you like. In our case, it's AI 102. Go and select this page and schedule with Pearson view. Okay, this is one option with which you can actually go through. So in this Pearson view, first of all, you need to provide your login credentials. And from here, I will tell you the idea. So first of all, you need to complete your certification profile. That means you need to give all the information specified here. You need to specify all the informations that they are actually asking. After that, create the certification profile. Then only you are able to write your exam. Okay, so this information is basically used in your certificates. So go and create your certification profiles when you're free. And after that, you can schedule your exams according to your time.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So we were told that all our details are already shared with Microsoft. So I think the registration is already done.
So whether you are doing that from the college, I don't know exactly about that. So in our case, what we are doing is that we are creating our own credentials, and we are going to register for the exam. But sometimes in your college, what may happen is that you are going to register for the exams on that particular day. On that particular day, you are going to write that exam on that particular day. If that's the case, then it will be different. So you can connect with Shinu ma'am for that, or you can connect with me if I'm getting more information from CloudThat regarding this when you're going to write the exams like that, right?
Okay.
So Shinu ma'am is there? Shinu ma'am is
I am here. I am actually doing some 5 things trying to do at a time.
Okay, okay. Shinu ma'am, what's the procedure that these participants are going to do for writing the exam? Whether they are registering according to their time?
Not really. So we cannot give that option, though the voucher comes with the one year access and all that. But our module structure you have to follow. It's a must. If at all you are not able to complete that during the timeline which we have set, your trimester marks will be marked as 0, right? Because we haven't got the marks. So please follow our timetable only, not Microsoft's timetable, right? So I think we have mentioned that 26th and 2nd. So you are getting solid 2 weeks for practice. 9th, everyone must complete the exam anytime, because you have to inform the center and then they will do the proctoring. It's an individual proctored exam, so you can set it up, but it must be completed on 9th. 9th, we must get your marks.
In order to choose that particular date, you need to actually do that earlier. Otherwise, you will not be going to get that particular date, because so many participants are actually registering for this exam on that particular date and time. So you need to take care of that date and along with the specified time.
Yeah, it could be earlier to 9th. We have no issues, but 9th or earlier. You can do it on 2nd as well.
Professor, I thought the college will be registering on our behalf and we come and take the exam or something.
Actually, it's not like that.
Online. Right. Earlier, it could be a center specific, but right now it is all online proctored exam. It is from university only, but then it is a Microsoft proctored exam. University is not proctored.
Okay, so we need to go to Microsoft website and register our name.
We will send you all the details. Just follow the process. We will send you the details.
Okay, okay.
But you have to book the slot. Yes.
Yeah, book the slot, and you will be having 2 options, whether you need to write the exam in the exam center, or you can directly take your exam from your home. That depends upon your convenience.
Yes, we would say online, because we can plan a 9th one if everyone is coming to the campus, but we cannot go behind and keep on reminding and all that. So it is better that you complete at your convenient time.
So is there any doubts regarding this course?
When was the mock test that we had to take up, Nithin? Probably like when will be the question?
By next week, we are going to share all the links to you. And Shinu ma'am, what's the exact date for this mock?
Mock, because you will have 2 chances. We are not putting a particular time, but we would suggest that you do it on 26 so that you get some idea about how the exams, and then you can collate your questions as well, so that Nithin can come and help you if at all we require. second you practice again, and 9th. So we are okay to take, because your mock exam results also would be considered as your internal marks. So that marks we are going to get based on your mock performance, right? So we need 100 marks for to be given to the registrar's office. 50 marks would come from mock exams and your class participation, etc. And the 50 marks, we will scale it down from your certification exam. We may change the weightage little bit because certification exam is much more heavier than mock exam, but we need 100 marks to be scored, which comes from mock exam and your final exam.
And I hope that you learned a lot from these 4 days.
Yes,
and,
absolutely. We want to hear something from you, all of you. I know Nithin has been helping, but others, any representation?
Was one question. There will be only one mock exam?
Two mock.
So one is on 26 March.
It's a few minutes exam. I don't think mock is lengthy.
It can be 30 to 50 questions, or it can be 30 questions, like that.
Yes, it's not a lengthy mock.
Okay. So when will be the other one, the second one? First one is on 26, and
you will get both the access at the same time. You can take one after the other, or you can take a break after checking your performance in the first one. But everything we will close on 9th.
Sure, ma'am. So final exam before or on or before 9th?
Yes, yes.
Thanks.
So can anyone share your feedback about this course?
Nithin, I mean, you are very knowledgeable and you're able to convey that knowledge, transfer that as well. Only thing is that I personally felt, and it may not be applicable to all, but the duration was a bit lesser.
So basically, it's a 4 days program according to Microsoft, and that's why we need to complete all these modules within these 4 days. So if you're getting a lot of time, then it will be more better. You can go through each and every aspects of this service.
Nithin, I believe the 4 days is because most of them who will be taking it will be people who are already in the line or who are already studying it. Then it will be like a brush up and then they can take it. But for people who are starting from ground up, I believe I echo what Soumya said. It's a little difficult to digest so much of things.
Okay. So what about others? If you have any queries with this course or with the contents, you can connect with me, and I have already shared my number with you. Is there anyone who is going to share the feedback? Anyway, I am happy with you because you're asking so many questions, and the session is more interactive in this case. So I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, we would suggest, I know the time and all that. That's why everything is recorded in any of the other institutions or anywhere. Recording and all that is not allowed, right? So you know that. So you have all these access to at your disposal. Please go through multiple times whenever you have time. That's the only way. Plus practice the tool. That's the only way you will be able to answer the certifications.
Is there anything you need to convey, or shall we wind up the session?
Hey, thank you, Nithin. Thanks for your time and sharing all the knowledge that what you gained over your experience.
Yeah.
Big thanks for your feedback.
Thank you so much. Some of you must come online and say hi, bye, and all that. Next time when you meet Nithin, you should know, right? This was Nithin.
Thanks, Nithin, for your time. And it's a vast subject. I do understand, you know, that we are calling 4 days.
Yeah.
Good, Nithin. Thank you.
Only Gopi will remember Nithin. Okay. Bye everyone. Thank you so much. And Nithin, we will trouble you a little more if we have
I'm happy to do
questions
that.
can be collated. Yes. Yashaswini or Gopi or whoever is keen to collate the questions, that would be great. So please do that. Right?
Sure.
Okay. So good night and happy learning. Keep learning. It's very interesting tool that you got, proprietary, right? Otherwise you have to write the whole thing in Python. So appreciate and then learn.
And one more suggestion is that try to use this service in your projects.
Yes.
So you can build your projects in a fast manner.
Yes.
And when I've gone through that WhatsApp, I'm getting so many messages regarding this robotics project competitions. And I'm thinking of that you can actually use those services in while designing the projects. And
but
thereby,
don't get big build to Reva, right? That's why we say because when you have to deploy it in production, Microsoft definitely I think is okay, but AWS becoming very expensive. So
okay,
we can look at, maybe we will connect with Nithin to see how we can deploy some modules at least on the humanoid project.
Nithin, have you anytime you are compared with this Azure services along with your Python code separately, different projects, how it is different?
So basically, it depends upon your need. I have worked with various Python projects without using any Azure functionalities. At that case, we need to take care from the scratch. That's the main problem, because we need to enter code everything for each and every functionalities there. And when it comes to the case of this pre-built services, the advantage is that you can go and register those services and use those in your application. Thereby, you can speed up your development process. That's one of the main advantage that you're going to get there.
But speed up is fine, but about the quality of the output?
Yeah, actually, the output quality is too good. Why I'm saying is that Microsoft is having lots of data, and they have trained their models with those data. And when we are trying to train from the scratch, we will be having only limited amount of data. So the quality will be too different. So when it comes to the case of Microsoft, they are delivering good services, and we can use that. If you need to work from the ground, then you can also go with that. That's your style of learning. And it will be better to know both kinds of stuff. That means you need to know from about how to work from the scratch, and also you need to learn about how to use those predefined or pre-use services in your applications.
Hopefully, we can use these services in our projects.
So when you think of an emotion-based music player, okay, so if you're building that from the scratch, then you need to take care of face detection. Then you need to take care of detecting the emotions from the face. Okay, you need to train those models with the data that you are having. And think of the services that we can actually use it from the Azure. You will be having the face detection, and if you're using this face service, you're able to detect that faces, and you're able to say that what's the emotion for that particular face. Then lot of things becomes easy, right? Then you need to actually control which music that you need to play according to that detected emotion. So that's the advantage.
Thanks, Nithin, for your inputs.
Okay. So happy to see you all, and I hope that we can meet in the further sessions. And thanks for your cooperation, and you're so energetic. Okay, so have a nice day, and bye then.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Nithin. Very much, Nithin.
Bye.
Thank you, Nithin.